We could never win an election because we were in such a small minority. We could never win an election because we were in such a small minority.
They just needed a useful idiot to do as he was told.
Technology is the vehicle to escape and move beyond politics as we find it today.
According to Red Caesar advocates, who lurk in the shadows of the current administration, democracy means equal rights, voting rights, and women's rights, values antithetical to MAGA. Their answer? Impose a dictatorship, and it will all go away. They believe Caesarism is a natural, realism-based system under which a civilization can flourish. They are selling dictatorship as the liberation of a broken republic destroyed by Democrats. They want to install an American Caesar, but it's not him. This is their anointed one. And data will be their weapon of choice to control the population under an iron fist. A concentration camp is defined as a guarded compound for the mass detention without hearings or the imprisonment without trial of civilians, such as refugees, members of ethnic minorities, political opponents, etc. Be in no doubt, Trump is building concentration camps. This is a crime against humanity under international law. But he doesn't care, because the rules of political engagement have been consigned to history.
Now that Trump has signed contracts with Palantir, everything has changed. He's opened the door to a massive state surveillance system, using aggregated government data to track and profile every American. Your private data can be used for political profiling.
It's the enemy from within, all the scum that we have to deal with.
I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within.
Translation: those who disagree with him. He's contracted Palantir to create a citizens database.
New details are emerging about how the shadowy data firm Cambridge Analytica worked to manipulate voters across the globe, from the 2016 election in the United States to the Brexit campaign in Britain.
My name is Christopher Wiley. I'm a data scientist, and I helped set up Cambridge Analytica. When I first met him, I knew he was Steve from America. Later, I got told he was the editor of Breitbart, and it was his idea to give the company the name Cambridge Analytica. If you want to change politics, you first have to change culture, because politics flows from culture. If you want to fight a battle, you need weapons for that. He wanted cultural weapons, and we could build them for him. If you can control all of the streams of information around your opponents, you can influence how they perceive that battle space, and you can then influence how they're going to behave and react. We were going to combine micro-targeting, but bring on boards new constructs from psychology, so that we wouldn't just be targeting you as a voter, we'd be targeting you as a personality. We would know what kinds of messaging you would be susceptible to, including the framing of it, the topics, the content, the tone, and where you're going to consume that. And then how many times do we need to touch you with that in order to change how you think about something? In addition to having, data scientists and psychologists and strategists, they also have an entire team of, creatives, designers, videographers, photographers. They then create that content. That gets then sent to a targeting team, which then, injects it into the internet. Websites will be created, blogs will be created, whatever it is that we think this target profile will be receptive to. We will create content on the internet for them to find. And then they see that and they click it and they go down the rabbit hole. You are whispering into the ear of each and every voter, and you may be whispering one thing to this voter and another thing to another voter.
With 10 likes, I can predict your behavior better than your coworker. With 300 likes, I can predict your behavior better than your wife. By algorithmically observing your behavior, I can learn to understand you and figure out how to push you to extremes. If you are somebody who is on the left and pretty far out in the margins of the left, I can probably push you to extremism. I can get you so wound up and so angry because I know what you're afraid of, and I can do the same with the right. What's new is I can micro-target to scale. So I can do this to millions of people at a time now. and manipulate a population.
Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
We're doing it! We're doing it!
One of the guys was beating him so hard. It was sad to see that.
Alejandro Barranco is one of 3 of Narciso's sons.
They hurt his shoulder. His shoulder looks like it was dislocated.
Check out Palantir shares, surging 22% after the company cited a boom in demand for its AI software from the U.S. government.
And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am.
There is an alignment of interests that runs through Silicon Valley to what is now a coming autocracy. It's a type of power that the world has never seen before. It's always the data. It's the crack cocaine of Silicon Valley. The first thing that Elon Musk did was to send his cyber troops into the US Treasury to get access to the data. That is not a coincidence, it's a hack. That data is now feeding AIs that are choosing who to sack and who to replace. We are watching the collapse of the international order in real time, and this is just the start. The entire business model of Silicon Valley is surveillance. We are already living inside the architecture of totalitarianism. The Russian and American presidents are now speaking the same words. They are telling the same lies. This is Putin's playbook. He allows a business elite to make untold riches in exchange for absolute loyalty.
We want the bureaucrats to be traumatically affected. When they wake up in the morning, we want them to not want to go to work because they are increasingly viewed as the villains. We want to put them in trauma.
This is not an administration creating policy on the fly. It's an administration following a carefully crafted script by those who are using a useful idiot as a delivery mechanism on their crusade to reimagine America. An America in which a new form of slavery is imposed on those who are not among the chosen few. Welcome to Trump's end of days regime. A regime where technology intersects with white Christian nationalism to oppress and enslave the population. Demonizing immigrants.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
Marginalizing the poor, the disabled, the LGBTQ community, and subjugating women. Dissent will not be tolerated, and any unfavorable media reporting will be punished.
CNN is scum. MSDNC is scum. The New York Times is scum. They're bad people. They're sick.
Social media profiles will be scraped, and those deemed non-compliant will be targeted. Your voting record, your political affiliation, your gender, even your menstrual cycle, your ethnicity, and your sexual preference will provide them power over you. This is how a techno-theocratic dictatorship operates. Slavery never went away. It just put on a new suit. Next, he's coming for elections.
In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
The soul of a nation is in your hands. Nobody is coming to save America. The future is now in the hands of those brave enough to fight back.
We are not going down without the biggest fight they have ever seen.